Hello, internet gays, also known as my beautiful dumplings. Today we're going to be speaking about the internet. Ooh. Because the internet is a very critical place. It's a fun place, albeit, but a place, naturally, where you can be criticised for absolutely anything. For example, once on Twitter I merely stated that my favourite Spider-Man film is Spider-Man 2. I believe this film to be better than any other Spider film. Yes, even Spider-Verse, and it resulted in countless people trying to ratio me. But it didn't work, because I am ultra powerful. But in terms of criticism on YouTube in the last few years, there have been multiple creators that have been criticised for doing multiple specific things. Jeffree Star, Trisha Paytas, Dream, and no, I'm not putting Dream in the same category as Jeffree Star. I wouldn't dream of doing that. Am I right? Moving on. But the person I want to speak about today is somebody very different to these creators that I just previously mentioned, because whilst this creator has been criticised in the past, it is specifically for a lot of different things in comparison to the average YouTuber having a scandal. Because yes, this YouTuber has had scandals, but at the same time, I feel like it's less criticism and more people being concerned for this creator. And yes, as you've guessed by the title, it is Eugenia Cooney, because I am actually extremely worried for Eugenia.
And I don't know, guys, just kind of like in general, I just kind of wish sometimes that people just could be less hateful towards people just like in general. Because not just towards me, like sometimes I'll also see like other people get hate, like I was saying, and I just kind of wish like sometimes people would just like think about how, you know, the things that you say to people and hate that you give to people like really can sometimes really affect them, and just the way that person might feel about themselves or feel about life or just like whatever. So I just really wish sometimes that people could keep that in mind more and just kind of try to be more positive towards other people.
Now, this comes from a video titled Opening Up About My Feelings, and yes, as you've guessed it, this is a video where Eugenia opens up about her feelings. And as you can tell from the likes and dislikes and the comments, this video did definitely not go down too well with the audience of Eugenia and just in general the internet. Because when it comes to Eugenia Cooney, I feel like at this point she has less of an audience and more people that just come over to her channel to check up on her and be concerned for her and check on her well-being. Because naturally so, in the last few years, in particular most of Eugenia's YouTube career, it has been based on a lot of people just outright being concerned and worried for Eugenia, and the comments very much do represent that. Stop addressing the hate and start addressing the massive amount of concern. I am getting real tired of being told that I am a hater for caring. And as I just previously mentioned, this is something that has been going on for years and years on Eugenia's platform. Not just her YouTube channel, but every single platform that Eugenia is on, there are most likely going to be replies and comments and just people saying how they are worried for Eugenia and how they are concerned for Eugenia for reasons which I don't necessarily need to go into detail about, because at this point I'm pretty sure that you are all privy to what has happened with Eugenia, all of the previous things that have been spoken about throughout the years on the internet. But in short, obviously there have been concerns recently about Eugenia relapsing, people concerned for her mental well-being in general, and just in general Eugenia's attitude towards the people that actually simply just care about her. And I've made quite a few videos about Eugenia. In the past I was very critical about Eugenia and a handling of a situation that I don't need to mention, but overall I am very concerned for Eugenia, and I think most of the internet as well is concerned for Eugenia. But at the same time, that doesn't deflect away or excuse the fact that whilst researching these videos, whilst writing these videos and creating the content, I have definitely seen a lot of disgusting comments and abusive comments made towards Eugenia, and I just want to say, whilst you can be concerned and worried for Eugenia and worried for her health and mental well-being and just in general how she is on her channel, that doesn't give you the right and excuse to go into her comment section and comment the most vile possible things, because I feel like a lot of people have taken the whole rhetoric about being worried for Eugenia and used that to kind of, I guess, construct their hateful comments, you know. And at the same time, I do believe this to be a minority of people who actually are coming for Eugenia. I feel like for the most part, it is simply people that do just care. As I showed previously, you can look at the top replies and top comments on Eugenia's video, which I just showed you, and you can see that most people out there are just worried for her. And I am one of these people. I am somebody who regularly goes back to Eugenia's channel. I regularly see videos about Eugenia in my feed, and sometimes even Twitch highlights of Eugenia. And to be honest with you, it just upsets me, because Eugenia 2 or 3 years ago was clearly on a path which was very, very positive, you know? Eugenia was clearly getting help, and I think we saw that in the Shane Dawson documentary. Now, whilst I feel like this video, in hindsight, is absolutely terrible and aged worse than milk, we could see in that video that Eugenia at that point of time was definitely doing better than she is now, for a multitude of reasons which I'll get into. But overall, I think most people, 99% of people, just want the best for her. But with this video that I've just shown you and this video, these both have come out recently, and to me it does just seem that, I'm not sure if it's deliberate, but Eugenia seems to be gaslighting her audience into believing that the people that comment on her videos are basically just hateful and people that I guess don't want the best for her. Like, she does barely reference people that are truly caring for her, but at the same time, you could just easily come to the assumption from these videos that Eugenia is basically just portraying everybody that is concerned for her as some form of hater.
Hey guys, it's Eugenia. So today I thought I would do a video just kind of like talking to you guys about, I guess, some thoughts that I've kind of had, and just kind of about like how I feel about the internet sometimes and things like that. It also has seemed like kind of like a lot of you guys have been wanting a kind of like updatey kind of video from me, which sometimes it can be kind of scary making those kind of videos, just because I feel like sometimes there can kind of be so many people really quick to kind of like judge like what you say, and sometimes like analyze and put you down for what you say. I thought, like, whatever. Sometimes people are going to get mad no matter what.
Now, to be honest with you, as a YouTuber, I can emphasize with this, because I am somebody that criticizes people regularly on this channel. I'm somebody that takes the piss quite a lot on this channel, and I do understand that in the past, I most definitely have been guilty of overanalyzing. If there was one thing which I could criticize myself in the past for, it would definitely be, hey man, I think you're reaching a little bit there. I think that video, a little bit of a reach, and I have definitely done that in 2017 and 2018, and maybe in the more regular past, and I definitely realize that nowadays, and I try to not overanalyze, and I can understand that with a lot of overanalysis of Eugenia's videos, it could possibly make it more difficult for her to make personal videos. And whilst most of us do want the best for her, I ultimately do understand that there is a minority of people out there who have been horrible to Eugenia, who repeatedly comment and post things in all of her platforms saying absolutely disgusting things about her, and in some cases to an influencer that can most definitely outnumber the large supporting group of people that actually support Eugenia, despite it being much less people. Because as a content creator, we do just react to things differently in ways you wouldn't, I guess, believe. But I'll give you an analogy. If 1,000 people were to say, hey, you look really good today, and then one random person went up to you and said, hey, you look ugly as shit today, there's a good chance you're mainly going to focus on that one person than the 1,000 people that complimented you. That's just how the human brain works for a lot of people on the internet, and in particular with influencers. I know for a fact I get a lot of comments saying, hey man, you're doing really well, I know you've been dieting and you look great, but then I'll see one comment which is like, oh, you look like absolute trash today, and I will focus on that one comment. I will fixate on that comment, and that will be in my mind for a little bit, you know. And I think it's understandable in a case of being an empathetic person here that, you know, Eugenia probably does see a lot of, well, a few disgusting comments, and that may stick to her, and that may conflate with the people that are just trying to be supportive. And I know a lot of people may not want to hear that, but that is the truth. Whilst I do see that there are so many supportive people for Eugenia, I can somewhat understand that maybe in her mind she may mix that in accidentally. Now, I do think there is a deliberate effort here in some cases, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised at the starting if it was very easy to mix up hate with people that are genuinely concerned. Because whilst you're getting so much hate, at that point, maybe some things just become blurred and it's less easy to understand. But also, I do understand that a lot of people out there overanalyze Eugenia's videos simply because they want the best for her and care for her. These videos, based on what she is saying in them, seem to me that Eugenia is in some form of delusion, because whilst I can be empathetic as a fellow content creator, at the same time there are just things said in this video and in previous streams and previous comments that make me think, yeah, this isn't a normal content creator thing.
Don't get me wrong, first of all, I definitely want to make like clear, I'm just like, you know, super grateful for every person that does like support me or care about me or even like doesn't totally hate me in like any way. You know, I'm always like super grateful for like the positive aspects of the internet, and that's really the stuff like I try to focus on. But I guess like sometimes it can be kind of hard to not at all pay attention to like negative stuff, just because like sometimes if I go on like Twitter or Instagram or just like whatever, I just kind of feel like sometimes I'm just like looking at like so much negativity, and you know, a lot of people just kind of getting angry and some people getting like a little bit obsessive at times with like their hate or anger, I guess. And I feel like sometimes that honestly can be a little bit stressful. Like I totally understand that people have the right to like say their opinion, and that like I put myself out there on the internet, so that's probably, I guess, partly my fault. But I don't know, sometimes I just really feel like there can just be like so much negativity.
So what she said here pretty much relates to what I was basically going on about just now, about how it is much easier to fixate on negative comments than it is to a wave of positive comments. I think that's a perfectly natural thing when it comes to, I mean, any platform. You don't really need to be an influencer to understand that. I think we all deal with hate and nasty comments in our own little ways. But as I said earlier, I think a lot of people, including myself, think that Eugenia is misconstruing concerned fans or people in general with hatred. And despite there being a wave of disgusting comments, I don't know how long I can make the argument for maybe it is a bit blurred, maybe it's hard to understand, when you just go to her comment section and there are very clear comments, not saying that they're a hater, but saying, hey, I'm genuinely worried for you and I want the best for you, but at this point, what can I do, you know? This seems to have been going on for years and years and years, and it's just a repeated cycle, and it's sad. It's not like I'm laughing at this. I'm genuinely concerned, and I have been a critic of Eugenia in the past, not for these things, but for other situations. I rarely speak about these situations, but I am actually worried at this point. I see these videos and I see content creators speaking about it, and whilst I do think some content creators that regularly speak about Eugenia do have, I guess, reasons which I don't think are at the concern of Eugenia to make those videos, I think for the most part, people on this platform, fellow influencers, and just fans and people in general are simply worried for her.
In my opinion, I just really feel like people, like regardless of what they look like and regardless of their size and like, you know, regardless of any of that, I just kind of feel like everybody has the right to make videos and to post a photo on themselves or just like whatever. I feel like sometimes with me, it's like people always be trying to turn that into like such a bad thing when really I'm just posting an outfit that I like or doing makeup that I think is cool or like whatever. And I just kind of feel like everybody, you know, no matter who they are, should have the right to do that, like regardless of what they look like and regardless if like they're bigger or smaller or like whatever size.
Eugenia, nobody is saying you don't have the rights to post these videos. Now I understand that a few people think she shouldn't be on the platform. Okay, but overall, I don't think anybody in the majority is saying, hey, you don't have the right to post content. I think most people are pretty chill with that, pretty cool with that. Content creation can be an outlet to relieve stress, and I understand that because I am a content creator. But at the same time, I can understand that on YouTube, people can see visible and mental changes in a content creator. Not just for the negatives, but for the positives. I have seen so many content creators completely change as a person. And Eugenia, you are one of those content creators. I have seen so many different changes throughout the years of you. And I think people are obviously going to notice that. YouTube is a visible platform. I can see video, I can hear your voice, and I can definitely see that mentally and visibly things have changed. It's more erratic. You don't seem to be calm and composed, whilst in previous videos, especially in Shane Dawson's documentary, you seemed much more calm and happier and to be doing well.
Okay, yeah.
So I think maybe starting there, if that's not too hard.
Yeah, I think that should be okay. So yes, I was like dealing with an eating disorder. As for like, I guess like labels with things like that, I guess like something that I've also kind of learned going through it and seeing like other people that were like also there, that even though like a lot of people can be like dealing with eating disorders, that like each person's story and each person's like experience with it can be like really different and really like individual.
This video is from 2019 and as you can see, this is Eugenia seemingly being healthier in every single way. She is far more calm and composed. There really isn't that anxious talk, and I understand that maybe with some people they may be just naturally anxious about how they speak, but here Eugenia does just seem to be speaking normally, seems to be less nervous, and seems to just be less worried about what people I guess think about her. And I understand that she probably did at the time, was still worried, but overall she seems better there than in this clip.
And you know, with that, you know, I obviously like was going through like a lot of things last year and it really wasn't good. I'm doing a lot better now. So yeah, like, you know, I'm definitely now doing like a lot better and doing good and everything. I mean, you know, I have kind of had some problems. So I mean, like, you know, last year was a really hard year for me and stuff, but I'm definitely doing a lot better and stuff. So I mean, I'm doing a lot better, like I'm doing good and everything.
Now this clip is from very recent. I believe this is from sometime this year in 2021, and that's a difference between 2 years. And I think you're just a moron, anybody, if you are lying that there is a clear, obvious distinction here. There is a blatant distinction, and if you deny that, I think you're just being too nice. And I think at some points there does need to be harsh realities and harsh truths. And when it comes to being concerned, I think the only right thing people can do is say, hey, you present yourself on the internet, and naturally so over a course of this timeline, I have seen that you have visibly changed in multiple different ways, and I am worried for you. And again, as I said earlier, this doesn't justify horrible statements being made about Eugenia. This doesn't justify people that take real places of concern and use that and manipulate that to be verbally abusive and I guess go on harassment campaigns towards Eugenia. There is no justification for that, and if you are one of the people doing that, please click off this video right now, even dislike the video, because I don't want you here. And I just think that you are a terrible person if you are somebody that truly does do that. But ultimately, I do think everybody has the right to clearly see that there is a level of concern that we need to have here.
Like I said, guys, I just kind of think that even if like people are really trying to like, you know, like I guess like cancel someone or kick someone off or just like whatever, it just kind of goes back to how I just really feel like everyone has the right to just like be themselves and to, I guess, like exist in the world kind of, and to post a photo of themselves or a video of themselves or whatever. I just really don't think like anybody should be like put down for that and just like for doing like, you know, what they enjoy.
Now I think this is more of a YouTube thing here. A lot of content creators out there get a lot of criticism, or people just in general concerned about them, and the first way they respond is, oh, I'm being cancelled on the internet, everybody's trying to cancel me. No one's trying to cancel you. No one is trying to I'm sorry. I just don't believe that for the majority of situations on the internet. And whilst cancel culture definitely is a thing, here, it's not that. This is completely a separate issue from cancel culture. The majority of this video is basically just Eugenia repeating herself, saying how hate stresses her and that she does try to live a good life, but it can get too much. And obviously I'm going to emphasize with that and understand that, because even if somebody is in, I don't know if I want to say some form in the wrong here, but in general, somebody who is, I guess, flat out in some form of delusion and denying the fact that people are just trying to help her, I think that I can maybe understand why that would stress them out and maybe even make it a little bit worse for them. And now I know some people may get mad at me for saying this, but I think we do need to explore all possible avenues here and understand where Eugenia may be coming from, even if we do disagree with Eugenia. And now this isn't the only video Eugenia has recently uploaded speaking about the rumors surrounding her and also the hate surrounding her, because she recently uploaded a video called Addressing the Rumors About Me, and as you can see, it most definitely didn't go well, and there were a plateau of comments basically just all concerned about Eugenia and just stating, wow, I'm just sad to see that we're now all being addressed as haters rather than concerned fans or concerned people. I was so proud of her back in 2019. She genuinely seemed like she was going to recover and make an effort to get better. This is so sad. And as I previously mentioned, this is just a repeat. And I'm not pulling these comments up to shame Eugenia or make her feel bad, but it's a reality that we need to face here. It's like, I don't usually speak about these heavy-hitting topics until I get really concerned. And here, I think we need to be concerned and start speaking about this more for Eugenia, just like we've done in previous years of 2018 and 2019, of where Eugenia actually got help.
Hey guys, it's Eugenia. So today I thought I would do a video that honestly is kind of random, but yeah, so anyways, I guess kind of to explain, I've kind of been on the internet for a pretty long time, posting videos and all that, as I guess you guys probably already know. I guess just kind of like on the internet sometimes and being online. Sometimes I will hear some really crazy things about myself, sometimes kind of like literally just like kind of like crossing over to just like crazy conspiracy level, like insane stuff. And I don't know, I hear a lot of kind of weird like rumors, weird things about myself. Like I'll read a lot of weird stuff sometimes. People post or like believe is true.
Now firstly, I shouldn't laugh, but I'm not sure what's with the Avengers music in the background or what seems to be Avengers like music, but you do you, I guess, Eugenia. But secondly, this video is basically just like the last video I showed you. It's completely identical of where Eugenia, rather than addressing serious concern around her, she seems to conflate everything said about her into some form of negativity and some form of hatred and theories and false things said about her. That's what I guess she's trying to do here, and I can completely understand why people would think this is deliberate at this point, because it has happened constantly. Rather than actually address the people that want to help her, she just conflates everything into these one category of people who are just hateful, and that simply, in my opinion, is not true.
And one more thing, guys, is like, and this is another one that I feel really bad about. Like, even as I'm making this video, I hope nothing I'm saying is coming off as mean. I know some people seem to think I'm so mean and so evil or whatever anyway, so some of you guys will probably think that, but I'm, you know, never trying to be mean. That's really never my intention ever. And lately, like, I'll see like some people that will be like, Eugenia's not actually nice, like the real her is coming out. And I'm just kind of like, I'm sorry, like, I can tell you guys, like, I do always try to be the best person I can. I always try to be nice to everybody. Like, I literally never want to be mean or, like, make anyone feel bad. So, yeah, that's always kind of crazy to me. Then it's kind of like if I say, like, anything about it, or when people ask me my opinion on it and I say it, or just, like, whatever, then people are like, oh my gosh, like, her mask is slipping. And
now, I definitely think there is a reason to why people think this, Eugenia. It's because your demeanor in previous videos from years ago, especially in the Shane Dawson documentary, is so much more different to what it is now. You seem to definitely be more nervous and on edge in your videos in comparison to when you were on that documentary. you seemed much more open, and you were very much speaking about the issues that you've had to deal with and the struggles that you've gone through bravely, and we all are so here to support you to go through and get support. And you seemed so much more calm back then, and I guess less on edge. So I can definitely understand why people now see you as somebody who is, I guess, not trying to be somebody different, but somebody who is, I guess, trying to cover up from the fact that you definitely need to get some form of support and help. The thing is with Eugenia, I'd say 99% of the people actually do just want the best for her, but we're not going to pretend that there is nothing wrong in this situation when there clearly is. And yes, as she said earlier, it has got to the point of where most of her videos do get over-analysed, and I think whilst at the same time maybe she has some form of argument there, at the same time, do you not understand why it's gotten to that point? Why people are now at the point of where they psychoanalyze absolutely everything you do because they are concerned. That is the reason that this is now happening. It's not just come out of nowhere, it's a build process over years and years and years. And when you contradict yourself when people ask you questions on your streams in comparison to when you speak about the things you've struggled with in Shane's documentary, it is a little bit confusing. It is definitely a dilemma. It's something which I think we are a little bit confused about. Like, is it the right thing to say what we think here? Is it the right thing to say we're concerned, or is it any of our business? Now, I personally think if somebody isn't clearly doing well, I would always say, hey, I'm worried for you, no matter if it's somebody that I don't know or do know. But whenever I see these posts and videos about Eugenia appear, as I said earlier, I get sad. I do, and I think we do have the right to express our concern without being hateful about it. And the comments in these videos sum this up. These videos are basically just full of a lot of people worried for her, and the videos themselves are just Eugenia deflecting these worried people away and conflating them with haters. People are simply worried for her well-being. They aren't haters. I'd say they're bigger fans than actually anybody out there. And yes, there are dislikes on these videos, mass dislikes, and that is because people in general dislike these videos. There is a difference between hate bombing and disliking bombing a video and actually thinking this is a bad video and I do not like what it represents, because people don't like what Eugenia now represents on her channel because they think a lot of it is extremely concerning content that can in some ways be very harmful towards others, because it could inspire others to go down the same route as Eugenia because maybe they think that will get them views, you know, and that's just something we have to admit to ourselves. And ultimately, I think people also dislike these videos because they don't like being called haters. They don't like being mixed up with the truly terrible people out there when they are simply just expressing their worry for Eugenia. So in conclusion to this video, I am worried for Eugenia and I wish nothing but the best for you, but I won't lie, I just wish you would pretend that not everything is okay, and it's okay to admit that. This seems to be somebody who is a completely different person from 2 years ago, and Eugenia, you need to know that it's fine to just admit that, yeah, maybe things aren't great, and at the same time, maybe you do have rightful criticisms of some of the people that come in your chats and send you terrible messages, because I stand with you on that, Matt. I completely agree that these people are not good, the ones that come in and spread those messages, but at the same time, I think you need to understand that that's not everyone, you know, that's a very vocal minority, and most of the internet is basically just here for you. And I think even Shane's documentary shows that, based on the reception at the time, despite now most of us thinking that series aged like complete milk because of Shane's attitude and because of Callie Morden's responses and attitude in that video. So yes, that is the end of the video. Eugenia, I'm going to end it by saying, I wish nothing but the best for you, and I hope things do improve for you. Okay, that's the end of the video. This isn't a usual type of content I put on this channel. I am usually more funny and I'm joking around and stuff like that, and memes. But today it's not that. This is a video which I've been wanting to make for a while. I just didn't really know how to present it fully. So thank you for coming along. Please comment your opinions below. Please like this video, because YouTube usually do basically take these videos and just completely stop it in the algorithm based on the sensitive nature of the topic. So please help me out. Please share this video. Please get it out out there and get people talking about this, because I think it's something that needs to be spoken about. And if you want to air anything with me, please tweet me at inabber69 on Twitter, or in general if you just want to follow me, it's there in the description, as is my Instagram and all my other platforms. But thank you for coming along, people. I truly do appreciate it if you sat through this entire video, and I will see you on Friday or another day when I can be bothered to upload. Thank you so much for coming along, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good day, and take it easy.